2 in the morning, and I'm dead asleep in my tent. On land, my grandfather nearly died for World War II. And then, bam, police flashlights explode through the canvas. And there's this banshee in a white Escalade shrieking about vagrants lowering property values. 3 squad cars. 3. All because Veronica Ashworth, queen of the next-door HOA, decided I was running some sort of homeless commune. Tell me, have you ever been accused of trespassing while drooling on your own pillow on land with your name on the deed? Because that's how my nightmare kicked off. The crunch of boots on gravel had me wide awake. Smell of cold lake air, dead campfire, and pure panic in my nostrils. "Ma'am, he's got a deed," I heard one cop say after I stumbled out, waving paperwork in their faces, hair looking like I'd wrestled a raccoon. You should have seen Veronica's face when she realized she'd dragged out the cavalry to arrest a man camping, legally, on his own 40 acres. And yet, what really blows my mind? That woman and her HOA cronies have been stealing from my family for nearly a decade. Ever been Karen'd so hard the police show up to evict you from your own property? Where are you watching from tonight? Because I bet a few of you know this song by heart. Anyway, let me rewind. Name's Garrett. My family's 40-acre ranch has been ours since 1957. Grandpa Frank came back from the Pacific, shrapnel in his leg, more fire in his belly than a steel mill. GI Bill, some no-man's land covered in sage and prickly pears, with a spring out back nobody cared about. 30 years later, Frank had carved out a slice of paradise. That spring-fed lake? Center of the world. He taught me to fish, his rough hands covering mine, making sure I knew, never let anyone push you off this land, boy. Worth fighting for. And when I say that, I mean it because I felt it every time sunrise set that water on fire. Nowadays, I work construction. My real therapy, though, comes from the weekends, just me, a dented old percolator, and the lake. After the divorce, that patch of earth saved my sanity. No lawyers, no ex, no drama. Just peace. Then Meadowbrook Estates happened. Sprang up next door like a case of suburban measles. Suddenly, I'm the weird guy living in a tent, surrounded by luxury homes and their self-appointed overlord, Veronica Ashworth. Imagine every Karen meme you've ever seen. Now give her a luxury SUV, a weaponized clipboard, and a haircut that probably costs more than my truck payment. She drops words like community standards the way some people sprinkle salt. 6 months ago, the war started. Picture this. I'm grilling fish by the lake. Here come those heels. Click, click, click. Her perfume announces her a full minute before she makes it to my dock. Sharp and artificial, fighting with the honest smell of wood smoke. Garrett, right? She's got the smile of a lone shark. We need you to register these camping activities with the community board. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my spatula. Lady, this is my land. Check the deed. That smile slid right off her face. Well, your activities are affecting our property values. That smoke drifts into our homes. And honestly, living in a tent doesn't really scream upscale neighborhood. My blood pressure spiked. I'm camping, not squatting. My grandfather died defending this place. She just sniffed. Times change. We're filing complaints. Illegal camping, air quality, health code, noise. You have 30 days to cease all overnight activities or face legal action. She actually handed me a notice on my own dock. I told her, get off my land. She just smirked. You'll call the police? That night, I lay awake, staring at the tent roof, listening to loons. Pulled up Meadowbrook's website out of curiosity. Nearly choked on my coffee when I saw future amenities, community water feature, and there, plain as day, my lake outline for their playground. Within days, the county got buried in complaints, unsanitary conditions, illegal structures, environmental hazards. 15 complaints in 2 weeks, all from the same IP address. Guess who? But what Veronica didn't know. Frank didn't just teach me to fish, he taught me how to fight too. Know your enemy's weakness before they know yours, he used to say, his voice carrying that hard-won edge of someone who'd faced real war. Time for recon. That weekend, coffee in hand, I realized this was never about camping. It was about money. My 40 pristine acres, handed down through blood and sweat, sat in the crosshairs of pure suburban greed. And Veronica? She picked the wrong veteran's grandson to mess with. Couple weeks later, white county truck in the driveway, clipboard doom in hand. My gut did a full somersault. Never a good sign. Garrett Mitchell? Ron Kowalski, county health inspector. We've had 15 complaints about an illegal campground operation. The kicker? It's Ronnie, my old high school linebacker rival, under all that official gear. He takes one look around, Frank's fire ring, gear all squared away, and shakes his head. These complaints are total garbage, man. Your place is cleaner than most backyards. He glances at his phone. All 15 from the same computer. Then he leans in, voice low. Most folks just fold when the paperwork piles up, but every complaint leaves a trail. 20 minutes later, I'm at the courthouse with a Freedom of Information Act request. The clerk, Martha, who's probably seen more HOA drama than Judge Judy, slides me a stack of papers. 15 complaints. Copy-paste language. And 3 filed on days I wasn't even there, which makes those, in plain English, perjury. Legal ammo in hand, I start digging. Turns out, HOA weaponizing bureaucracy is practically an American pastime. File enough complaints, drown the target in red tape, hope they give up. But here's the trick. Counter complaints are a thing. All I had to do was keep my record straight and document. That weekend, as I set up camp, right where Frank first taught me to fish, I spot fresh tire tracks. Wide, deep, Escalade-sized. Someone's been snooping while I'm gone. I snap pictures, tread marks, crushed grass, even some high-heeled footprints. Veronica had been sneaking onto my property to build her little case. The gall. So I make a decision, watching the sunrise turn the lake gold. No more playing defense. Time to take the fight to her. 3 weeks pass. My neighbor Jim calls. Garrett, check the community center website. They're planning a meeting about you. Sure enough, emergency public safety meeting, environmental threats. The parking lot's full of luxury cars by the time I show up. Veronica's up front, PowerPoint loaded, in full Karen attack mode. First slide. My campsite, shot with a zoom lens like it's a terrorist compound. Second slide. My campfire, photoshopped so the smoke looks like a chemical spill. Third, she's labeled my gear bag as debris. Even the HOA crowd starts shifting uncomfortably. I stand. Ma'am, I like speaking time. Whole room goes silent. She tries to shut me down, but the county commissioner, didn't even know he was there, backs me up. I march to the front, pull out Frank's old survey map. My camp is 200 feet from any property line. And these photos? Fake. Show them the real ones on my phone. Then I show the complaint trail, 15, all from the same address, 3 on dates I wasn't there. Plus photos of tire tracks and high heels near my fire ring. By the time I'm done, 3 HOA members look like they're ready to mutiny. Carol, retired teacher, grabs me outside. We didn't know, Garrett. Veronica told us you were running a business out here. Dave, accountant, nods. Something's wrong with the HOA books. We'll look into it. As I drive home, it clicks. Veronica's not just power tripping. She's got money at stake. The next morning, Maria Santos from Code Enforcement rolls up, clipboard in hand, and sure enough, there's Veronica in tow. This time, it's about Frank's old fishing shed. She wants it demolished, claims it's a hazard. Maria does the inspection, rolls her eyes at Veronica, and I sprint to the house, digging through Frank's fireproof safe. There it is, the original 1962 building permit. Maria reads it, jaw-dropping. This shed's grandfathered. There's nothing wrong here. Veronica nearly swallows her tongue. That can't be real. But I know better. Military families don't throw away anything that could save their hide. After they leave, I find an old letter from Frank tucked behind his medals. If the vultures come for our land, trust nobody in expensive suits. Check the deed. There's more here than just camping. That night, I look over the deed, never really studied it. Turns out Frank bought more than land. He bought mineral rights, timber rights, and, get this, water rights extending underground for half a mile. That spring feeds Meadowbrook's fancy fountains. For 8 years, they've been pumping my water to keep their lawns green without paying a dime. Now I'm pissed. Martha, the courthouse clerk, helps me pull up county records. 50,000 gallons a month, going straight to Meadowbrook. 400 grand in water, stolen over 8 years. Permits? Never finalized. And the developer on paper? Silent partner, Veronica's holding company. The county commissioner, who kept approving everything, paid off to the tune of $50,000. It's all connected. All the harassment, all the complaints, the midnight police calls, it was about hiding a theft. So I gather everything. Deeds, permits, complaint logs, photos, even the threatening text Veronica starts sending once she senses the game is up. I call Morrison and Associates, best property rights lawyers around. Jake, the senior partner, is half asleep until I say 8 years of water theft, fake permits, HOA embezzlement. He's wide awake then. This is a RICO case waiting to happen. That night, I meet up with my old VFW buddies, Tom Brennan, Sarah Chun, the whole crew. Within 2 hours, we've got a legal fund started, surveillance shift scheduled, and half the county's media on speed dial. Turns out, nothing rallies a group of old soldiers like a fresh fight. A day later, Dave from the HOA calls. We found $200,000 missing from a budget. Veronica's husband's company was paid for work that never happened. Internal rebellion brewing. The counterattack starts that Tuesday. Jake files the water rights lawsuit, $1.2 million in damages. Mrs. Patterson, from the weekly paper, runs the front page story, HOA accused of $1 million water theft. By Thursday, Veronica's voice is hissing threats on my voicemail. I record everything. Withdraw, or you'll regret it. The more she threatens, the more we've got on tape. Friday morning, 3 SUVs show up. Private security, Ashworth Holdings logos. 6 guys in tactical gear, trying to intimidate me off my land. I just called Jake on speaker. These men are trespassing. Call the sheriff. They vanish faster than you can say armed intimidation. Later that day, my campsite is trashed, tent slashed, gear ruined, even Frank's old percolator dented. But our trail cameras catch everything. It's Veronica's son, Brandon, acting out his own suburban Rambo fantasy. I send the footage to the sheriff. New felony charges, just like that. Veronica calls, sobbing, "That's my son. You're destroying us. He destroyed my property, ma'am, on camera. He's 22, old enough to know better." She asks what I want. Justice. Pay up for the stolen water, resign, apologize, and face the music. By Monday, the state attorney general opens an investigation. Turns out, our case uncovered bribery, fraud, wire transfers. Bradley, the county commissioner, is going down too. Veronica tries every dirty trick in the book. Anonymous posts about me being unstable. Fake complaints to child services, claiming I'm running an illegal daycare in the woods. Even calls my boss, trying to frame me for stealing tools. But every lie she spins, we catch on camera with logs, with receipts. And every time, our army grows. More neighbors, more veterans, more truth. The final battle? Community meeting. Packed house. News cameras. Veronica stands, trembling, trying to sell the story that I'm a greedy troublemaker. Jake steps up, projects the water deed on screen, walks everyone through the evidence. The wire transfers. The fake complaints. The vandalism, with Brandon's face front and center. The crowd erupts. Then out walks Agent Williams, FBI badge on display. Veronica Ashworth, you're under arrest. You've never heard applause like when justice finally lands on the right head. 6 months later, I'm back on the dock, sunrise reflecting off water that's finally, legally mine. Veronica got 18 months in federal prison. Her husband, 2 years. Brandon, community service. Commissioner Bradley, 3 years for bribery. But the best part? The new HOA board apologized, honored Frank's memory, and asked me to join them as a consultant. Me, the guy they tried to run off for pitching a tent. With the settlement, I set up the Frank Mitchell Memorial Fund. We're helping other families fight back. Suburban tyranny is everywhere, but so is the will to push back once you know your rights. Last weekend, a bunch of kids learned to fish from my dock. Veterans swapping stories by the campfire. Sarah Chin's running the conservation festival like it's a military operation. Mrs. Patterson won an award for her reporting. The lake is healthier than ever. Real progress, the honest way. Last night, I found a note from Frank buried deep in his old tackle box. Boy, if you're reading this, you won the war. Make this place worth the fight. I guess I did, old man. You ever been up against someone who thought the rules didn't apply to them? Someone with more money, more power, but none of the right? What would you have done if you were me? I want to hear your story. Drop a comment below. Ever tangled with an HOA or seen justice served when nobody thought it possible? Tell me, where do you draw the line between standing up and letting go? Because sometimes the only way to keep what's yours is to fight for it.